going to cut the corner here and head over to the south side of the island, which looks completely different than the north side. Instead of tall sea cliffs, the south side has the longest coral reef in the United States. You guys seen any whales since you've been on the island?
Seen a few.
We have not.
I'm going to do my best to try to find us some whales here in a little while.
Awesome.
We're going to go offshore here in a minute, and the air should smooth out a little bit once we get off the coast. This little area down here on the left is called Puko'o, and we're going to head offshore right here. As you look along the reef down here on the south side of the island, you'll see these rock walls every now and then. They built out into the ocean. These are Hawaiian fish ponds. They started building these here around 800 or 900 years ago. Truly an ingenious way to fish. Most of these aren't functioning anymore, but when they were functioning, they had special gates built into them that would allow small fish to swim into the ponds. Small fish swim in, they eat algae, they become big fish, and then they can't get out. So these ponds are constantly catching fish and then raising fish and then replenishing the supply of fish. And they can just harvest them at will. And between the taro farms and their fish ponds, the Hawaiians living here really didn't have to work very hard to feed large populations. And this gave them a lot of leisure time to develop a very interesting culture. The Hawaiians invented surfing. They invented the hula dance right here on this island, on the west side of this island. So they had it pretty good out here in this land of plenty. couple of radio calls. I'll be right back with you. Alright, well, we're making our way over to the leeward side of West Maui where the whales tend to hang out. There's a whale breaching right out there. See him slapping his tail in the water right there, yeah. See if he'll do that for a minute. They do this for several reasons. They're kind of like, hey, look at me, it's mating season, I'm over here. They're also knocking barnacles off of their tails. If you ever see these whales up close, they look like a boat hull covered with barnacles and sea lice. So they are preening a little bit too. There he goes. Tail slap, tail slap. Talk about the island of Lanai while we're looking at whales. This island in front of us is also somewhat of an obscure island. Lanai only has 2,500 people living there today. At one time, that island produced more pineapples than any place in the world. Today in Hawaii, pineapples are really not a big part of the economy at all. Other countries can grow pineapples a lot cheaper than they can do it in Hawaii today. But back in 1920, James Dole of Dole Pineapples bought the whole island of Lanai for $1.1 million. There he goes right there, check it out. You can barely buy a house in Hawaii for $1 million today. Things changed very quickly, less than 100 years here. And the island of Lanai today is owned by the multi-billionaire Larry Ellison, chairman of the board of Oracle Software. He paid $560 million for the island about 5 years ago. And even this is still considered an incredibly good deal for a 140 square mile island in Hawaii. Now, the best place to look for whales is in the calmer water over here behind, sheltered by West Maui Mountains. You can see the smooth water up ahead. The whales tend to be easier to see over here, and they also tend to congregate along these wind lines and in the shallow and the calm water up here. So that's where we're headed right now. They like this water between these islands. This is a national marine sanctuary for humpback whales, and they like it because it's relatively shallow. It's only about 300 to 500 feet deep right here, and that's because all these islands we're looking at were once connected together by valleys. And Maui used to be a much bigger island. These volcanoes became extinct, and the valleys eroded away, and that left behind this shallow, warm basin of water, this big hot tub for whales.